Hello there, my friends. Welcome to the Glow Up Method. This here is the place for you to discuss all of our things: personal growth, transformation, rebirth. Hi there. My name is Natasha, and I'm trying to get cozy here. So that I can come to you with some comfort today. Hi there. For those of you who may not know, I had surgery 3 weeks ago today. The surgery is called a panniculectomy. Hi, yeah, I got that right, nailed it. And what a panniculectomy is, I still cannot say it, is basically a surgery to remove what's called your pannus, which is like an apron belly. So while I had significant weight loss, I was also left with a significant amount of skin. So like my skin would hang down if I wasn't in my leggings. Thank you, by the way, whoever invented spandex. But if I wasn't in my leggings or some form of shapewear, the belly would hang past my pubis and onto my thighs. Like if I would be sitting here right now, my stomach would be sitting on my thighs. And so there hasn't been a lot that I have really appreciated of this journey yet, besides obviously waking back up and, getting to have this life experience and finish my story. Although there have been moments that I was like, I don't want it. Like, it is tough. Like, I am not, I'm a person, like, you see me on here, I want to smile, I want to share joy, I want to give compliments, like, I'm all about that, like, I'm all about embracing who I am in the moment. I sit on here and I cry, I sit on here and I laugh, I sit on here and I preach sometimes, but man, like, sometimes I was like, today I was like, enough with the negativity, like, no more negative Natasha, like, what is this? Like, it's just like, meh, like, I'm just kind of miserable in my skin, and I cannot stand that because there's so much to be grateful for. Like, so I'm like having to do all the work and the reframing and the adjusting and finding and carving out moments where like there's great. Like I went outside and while I was pushing myself to do a little bit more, oh my gosh, I constantly do this. So I have to shut my chair off. It wants to go back. There's so much to be grateful for within this whole experience. And I'm working really hard at focusing on those things. But when I'm weak, when I am at my, like I call it a perfect storm where I've got drains, I've got pains, I'm tired of laying, I'm bored, but I don't want to work. And, I've seen this room for enough days. I haven't been to the gym. I've done very little socialization. I'm walking around in what my son calls a freaking diaper today. He's like, how you liking live? Oh, here's a little birdie visiting. Cute though. How you liking walking around in the diaper all day? And I was like, it's not a diaper, but it looks like I'm wearing a diaper. A black diaper, I thought, but like, I never thought I'd get to the point where oh my gosh, power on again, where I would be just walking around in some underwear that I call a bikini in front of my sons, because anything touches the drain, including a dress or my pajamas or anything like that, it hurts and it irritates it. So this is this very like, and then it just looks like, actually what it looks like to me is I am in a 1960s Barbie bathing suit because I've got the compression on, so it goes all the way up to here. So I've got like black up to here with straps and stuff like that. Then I've got this up top, so I literally look like I'm in some kind of bathing suit. So I was like, okay, maybe I won't be in a bikini, but technically I kind of, nothing showing in the middle. But I am so stinking swollen. Chris has now been gone for 5 days. I've been on my own. I'm taking on more. I'm able to do some more, but then it's like I do a lot, and then it doesn't seem like a lot. Just it would be like a little in my normal life, and it wipes me out the next day. So truly trying to balance, and like tomorrow I already know, okay, I have a long drive to go to get my drains removed, or not drains. I'm putting that on the universe. I just want them gone. But then again, if they're helping and I'm not like pooling that blood on the inside, then keep the damn drains and I'll wear the damn diaper for another week. But on the same turn, if it's it's time, ready to go, like I will not miss you whatsoever. Like just to get dressed and to shower, you have this, like before I had my skin to constantly worry about, now I have these because it's like the tubes have to be laced in. under the underpants, and then you have to pull it up. And then when you gotta go. Like, I've got all this pressure and swelling. It's like, once I start moving, it's like, oh no, I gotta go. And then I'm like trying to hold it, trying to pull down my things, trying to put in this, and the leg is hurting in this. And it's like, it is like a 20-minute procedure. Oh my gosh, just to go to the bathroom. And then this happens all day long, where I accidentally hit the power button, and then I have to hit the power button off. And so on the same turn, very glad I have this. Like, this is a spoiled purchase. Oh, that have, see, I hit the drains. Ow. Ouch. They just hurt, like, at the site, like. So, anywho's Belzos, they hurt. It hurts me. Almost worse than the, like, stomach, but the stomach hurts because it's so so bloated. But now that I've been taking care of myself, because Chris isn't here, and having the kids help out, there's certain things they can and cannot do. Scarf maintenance is one of them, so I needed to buck it up, and I needed to look at myself and see it. It's not so bad. It's really low, and it's definitely turning redder over the last few days. I am moisturizing twice a day at this point with Aquaphor and Vaseline to really keep it moist. And I've been starting to now kind of do like gentle massage on the belly, like just kind of rubbing and barely touching it. To try to help encourage some of that swelling to go down, the lymph, whatever it is, because it's just so freaking stinking full. Like, it is like so ginormous. It is so like stretched to its limit. It hurts. It is so swollen. So I'm very, very, very excited for the day that I'm looking forward to, that the swelling is gone. But I understand from what I hear now, it could be up to a year. And I'm right now at some of the peak of the swelling. And, you know, in the next couple weeks, I'll be, you know, only 80%. I'll have 80% more to go down. But so it's gonna be a battle, which is gonna be really hard, because I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna look worse than I did before I left the gym. Been like, yeah, like when I did put on the leggings, I'm like, holy crap, these leggings are very, very tight right now. And they were not like this before. No, siree, Bob. So it's going to be a process. It is a starting over, and I'm trying to keep my spirits about me. I'm right now, I'm good. And that's what it is. It's like throughout the day, there are moments that are good. And then throughout the day, there are moments that are crying. I'm just crying. There are moments that I'm just staring for a solid hour. There's moments when I'm listening to music and feeling very zenful and grateful. There are moments when I'm outside watering my flowers because the weather is nice. There are moments when I'm chatting and laughing with my kids, which actually hurts a lot. There are moments when I'm eating or cooking, and there's a lot of moments in between. And there's moments when I am procrastinating on all the things I should be doing. But I'm conserving today because I know tomorrow I have a big drive ahead of me. And the drives really knock a lot out of me. The bumping of the car. You know, I have a big car and, you know, big wheels. It's just any kind of pothole, you know, uneven surface. Some shivers up my spine. My car seat, like, is broken. My truck, little Bertha over here, big Bertha actually. Big Berthy over here. She is a doll. She's a babe. I love her. She has gotten me so far. She's like 207,000 miles old. And, but what comes with old age and is some of his reliability, like wisdom. She's got all that, but she also has some broken stuff. And one of them is like my passenger window doesn't roll down. Another was there's some rips in my seats. And another one is my seats no longer heat, no longer cool, and no longer move. So I am stuck in this position in which it's in, which is not necessarily very comfortable. So, but it's easier than crawling into a small car and crawling out of the small car, which is even more bumpier. So if that makes sense. So anyways, I'm going to stick with my car, and I got to take the drive out, and hopefully I get some good news and I get Adrian out. Let's put that out there. But if not, I know patience is power. And, you know, this journey has really been a test. I'm going to say this. It has been a test of everything I have learned over these last few years. And it's a reminder of where I can be. Like right now, I'm not intermittent fasting. I have to eat. I have to have the energy to heal. If I'm not properly nourishing myself, I'm not going to have enough iron and yada, yada, yada. So I eat when I'm not hungry, which means I'm eating often and I'm eating a lot. Second thing is, and I need to be drinking and taking pills and doing all these other things, like iron pills and vitamins and stuff like that. I am not exercising. I did for a little while. I was like being super overzealous and I was doing like 8,000 steps a day and doing all these things. But then I found myself feeling very wiped out and very depleted because simultaneously I lost some of my health. And I knew I needed to conserve and survive instead of over here trying to thrive with my dancing and walking and stuff like that. I have had to find joy in other ways, talking with my kids, going outside in the sun. I'm not a big TV watcher, so that doesn't really bring me much joy, but like just doing kind of things, eating a good meal, that does bring me joy. Like I no longer do my cold showers because it's just too cold. And I often am, instead of 2 showers a day, because a shower wipes me out, I'm down to 1 shower a day, and which is still great. Like it's still fine. I usually do it at the evening. The other day when I washed my hair, I did it in the daytime. I am so grateful that my back no longer hurts. I could jump joy for this. Don't necessarily know if it was the surgery, if it's all the swelling that's supporting the back. I don't know what it is, but I'm just going to say hallelujah and be so grateful for that. And I'm here like really thinking a lot about you guys. Like I'm thinking about the direction in which the Glow Up Method goes. I'm thinking about, I know my stories are often about me because I'm sitting here as a monologue. I'm not interviewing somebody, but I'm really curious about you. And I really want to be someone who helps to empower and allows you to see that like someone like me can even go through struggle. Someone like me can be knocking on death's door and still come back and work through it. I'm not going to be always graceful and perfect and polished and jump up and just be full of joy and happiness all the time. There's going to be days I sit on here and cry, and there's going to be days that I am sitting here and crying and I don't even have the energy to record. There are going to be so many different parts of this journey, and I want you to understand, and I share that because for so long, I didn't realize that other people were going through the same thing. I thought I was alone. I thought that I was being punished for some crime I don't know or knew I committed. And just the fact that I was born somehow was a punishment, somehow was this thing that was like, well, you're born and now you're going to suffer the consequences of that. And suffer alone. The time in which I was born, there wasn't a lot of talking. Like, we didn't talk about the fact that my mom attempted suicide in front of me. We didn't talk about the fact that my parents got divorced. We didn't talk about that before they got divorced. I witnessed a lot of domestic violence. We didn't talk about the fact that, I had a teenage dad who often was home, but then he was often also not home. He would, go out and we'd be left with babysitters, or we were left alone, or, there wasn't a lot of talk about, oh, you were molested by a family member. There wasn't a lot of talk about, oh, you were sexually assaulted. Like, there wasn't a lot of talk. It was a lot of like, okay, these really tough things happened and they suck and I hurt and I'm scared and I don't know what to do with it all, but you just move on. And that's what I did. I survived. And then I took those survival mechanisms that I had acquired, not by choice, but by like survival, right? I took those and I then took it into the rest of my life. I took it into like when my son was born early, when my son had heart surgery, when, I was put on bed rest for my daughter, when 9/11 hit, I took these things, when my son was born with a double earlobe and had hernia surgeries, and my other son's born and they said that he has optic nerve hypoplasia, which means he'll never be able to drive and barely can see, and he still struggles with his vision. And I have a daughter that has a lot of mental health struggles. The comparison, growing up in a generation as a female who was the first gen through on this social media kick. Like, my gosh, I can't imagine if there was video cameras and social media with some of the things that we did as teenagers. Oh my gosh, no. So no, like, there, and then the comparison, like, yeah, for us, like, growing up, we were in the supermarket and we looked over at the magazines, or we got a magazine subscription at home, or, we would see perfectly polished, but then, we didn't see it. Like, plastic surgery wasn't the way it is. Like, there wasn't extensions the way everything is. There wasn't everybody, you knew your friend went to Cabo, but that was all. You didn't see the pictures of this glorious time, and you're barely able to, have food on your table. There's just so much comparison, which, again, my son told me at the beginning of my journey here with my panniculectomy, comparison is the stealer of joy. And it so is. So I have to keep reminding myself I can't compare myself to who I was, and I can't compare myself to other people's journeys. And sometimes the easiest thing to do is just not see it. So, like, I love the groups that I joined late in the game, like the day before my surgery. I love them. I love the knowledge that they share, but they do still make me feel insecure. They make me feel sad that there is this possibility of having done this and not experiencing swelling, and not experiencing, the near-death experience I experienced, and not experiencing, drains still 3 weeks later. Like, it shows me this side of life that is not mine. And I'm happy for them. Believe me, I am so happy. I wouldn't wish this on anyone, but it makes me sad that that's not my experience too. Like, and I get through it because, again, I'm used to it, right? Like, I have said on here before, like, when my son was born early and I would watch the moms and the families come in and they're pregnant, and then, a couple days later they would leave with their babies in their arms, and that was the way it was supposed to be, but that wasn't for me. That wasn't my life. And so, again, it just confirmed that my life was always full of suffering. And if something was to go wrong, it was going to go wrong with me. And I forget now. And like I said, my therapist has really, told me this thing, that although things go wrong, there always seems to be favor. There always seems to be, like, a guardian angel, the universe. Something is still supporting me and with me. And while it may be a challenging life lesson, while it might be hurtful in the moment, I know what transpires has always made me stronger and better. But at some point, I'm like, listen, I'm strong. I don't need any more tests of it. But this has allowed me, like I've said on here before, this experience has allowed me to really practice a lesson in which I have really been stubbornly resisting. And that has been to ask for help, to understand that if I ask for help, that it may be the only way I get it that day, but at least my needs are met. And even if the other person doesn't receive the asking with, sunshine and roses and jump up for joy, and I've been like, there's nothing better I'd want to do for you, mommy. Natasha, I thought you would never ask for me to fill your water. Like, I gotta spank down the expectations, but me really being forced to practice this has been a test, and I feel like I'm doing better at that. And not trying to take on the weight of the world so that someone else doesn't suffer. So that has been a beautiful lesson. And in all of this, I say, I know that in your life experiences, there are so many lessons. And I know sometimes we get wrapped up, right? Like, I've never said, why me in this situation? Thank God I learned that a long time ago, because so many times I was that way, and there's no changing it. This is just what it is. So it's like, okay, these are the cards presented to me. These are the circumstances presented to me. How can I best navigate each moment of each day? Because I have to take it moment by moment. I'm not quite strong enough to just think of it as a day by day thing. It's like moment by moment, minute by minute. What can I do? What are my bare minimums today? Can I get my filming done? You know, check in. Can I get any steps done? You know, what kind of steps are we talking about? Are we just talking about moving around the house, or are we going to do like an intentional walk? It's really about, okay, here's what we can do, and doing that. And if we can do just a little bit more, then maybe challenging myself to do that. And as I do each time, things get easier. My showers by myself, easier. You know, my putting on my creams, easier. You know, the dealing with the drains, while cumbersome and they take a long time, easier. And this was a challenge we had dealing with 2 people. So now I'm just one and I'm able to do it. So can you imagine if I had 2 people, I would be, you know, have so much, you know, more. But this is where I am. You know, it takes me 45 minutes to get my diaper, as they would say, on, and the creams and the binder and the tubes in the right spot so that they're not hurting. Like right now, it's irritating. But I say all this to say, I really do appreciate that you're tuning in. I really do have you in mind throughout most of the day. And I'm really trying to think about ways about how we can take this to the next level and how I can better be of service to you. I want to be a help. Like I'm here to help. I'm here to share my expertise, my stories, so that you learn. Like if you're doing this, like surgery, the pinnacle, literally get a lanyard for the shower. That was a game changer. Like some of these things I had and I didn't use or didn't really know how to, and figured, oh, I'm not going to be in this situation that long. I don't need that. I got it. But really have been like, just having the use of my hands because I have drain holders, having the use of my hands because I use a lanyard in the shower and it doesn't pull or anything like that. I could wash my body. Like, utilize the resources, utilize the community, and consider me a part of yours because I consider you a part of mine. So thank you so much for tuning in. Today, I am going to ask you to please go out there, give yourself a big smile. Whether that means you are pulling down your visor, you're flipping your phone around, whatever it is, give yourself a big smile and give yourself a compliment. Today, my compliment is going to be this. I am really glad that I asked questions, that I am curious, and that I want to improve steadily, but with some risk, calculated risk, but not take it too risky in order to get to this position where I am back to not my typical pre-surgical baseline. I then would love for you to please go out there, give somebody else a smile. It can even be a virtual one. If you want to send somebody an emoji, a text, you know, pick up the phone and call somebody at the supermarket, your kids, your significant other, a friend, a stranger, anybody. Give them a big smile, like make eye contact with them. That's huge. It's connection. And I would love for you then to give them a compliment as well. And just watch how your words help somebody else in their glow up journey. So thank you so much for tuning in. I adore you. I thank you. Bye. Oh, can't reach.